Imagine a ruler who spends his entire reign hunting down, banishing, and executing every occultist in his kingdom. He declares their practices an abomination, punishable by death. Now imagine that same ruler, years later, completely terrified, stripped of his armor, and wearing a cheap disguise. He is sneaking past enemy lines into a damp, hidden cavern. Why? To beg for the exact ritual he once outlawed. This isn't a fantasy novel. This is the account of King Saul and the Witch of Endor, a psychological thriller of a king abandoned by God, a forbidden ritual, and a chilling message from the grave. 1010 BC. The Philistines, Israel's most brutal enemies, have mobilized an army of unprecedented scale. From Mount Gilboa, Saul sees iron chariots and impending annihilation. Terror fills his heart. In the past, Saul had guidance, but Samuel, the great prophet, was dead. Saul tries every method to contact God. He prays, silence. He consults the prophets, silence. Heaven had completely ghosted King Saul. His paranoia and pride had finally severed his line to the divine. He was a commander facing an existential war, completely blind. Severed from the light, he turned to the darkness for answers. "Find me a woman who is a medium," Saul commands. His servants tell him of a woman who survived his own bloody purges, living in secret behind enemy lines in Endor. To get there, Saul commits a fatal blunder, marching right past the enemy flank at night. He wasn't thinking like a general. He was an addict looking for a fix, sneaking past the very swords that sought his life. He arrives at the rocky cliffs of Endor and finds the hidden cave. Inside, lit by a single oil lamp, sits the woman, the last surviving medium in the land. The cloaked giant steps forward. "Conjure up for me a spirit." The woman recoils. She knows the stakes. Saul had cut off the mediums from the land. Why set a trap for her life? In a moment of supreme, dark irony, Saul swears by the very God he is disobeying, "You will not be punished for this." Reassured, she asks the question, "Whom shall I bring up for you?" Saul breathes a single name into the darkness: Samuel. The prophet who anointed him, the man who was once his only link to the heavens, is called from the afterlife. The ritual begins. Smoke fills the cave. Suddenly, the medium screams at the top of her lungs. Something real has actually broken through the veil, something terrifying. She spins around to Saul, realizing his true identity. "Why have you deceived me? You are Saul." The king commands her, "Don't be afraid. What do you see?" "I see a divine being coming up out of the earth," she replies. "An old man wrapped in a robe." Saul knows instantly. He falls prostrate, pressing his face into the dirt. Samuel has arrived. "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up?" the spirit demands. Saul cries from the ground, "I am in great distress. The Philistines are fighting me, and God has departed from me." If Saul was looking for comfort, he went to the wrong grave. Samuel's response is a brutal hammer. "Why consult me now that the Lord has departed from you and become your enemy? The Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hands and given it to one of your neighbors, to David. Because you did not obey the Lord will deliver both Israel and you into the hands of the Philistines. Tomorrow, you and your sons will be with me." The words hit Saul with physical force. He collapses flat on the dirt, completely paralyzed by the realization that his dynasty is doomed. In a surprising twist of compassion, the witch becomes the only person to comfort the dying king. She slaughters a calf and bakes bread, forcing Saul to eat so he has the strength to march to his death. Saul eats his final meal, slips back through the dark, and prepares for dawn. The very next day, every word from the cave came to pass. The Israelite lines collapsed. His sons were slaughtered. Saul, cornered and bleeding out from arrow wounds, fell upon his own blade. The story of the Witch of Endor remains one of the darkest warnings in history. When a leader hunts for answers outside the truth, they will eventually find exactly what they are looking for, even if it costs them everything.